And so Mike Gravel has made the debates. And it's a great thing to have him there because he's extremely anti-war. He has no problem speaking out against the corruption of the Democratic Party. He reached 65,000 donors to make the July debates. Johnny, you have the tweet right here.
So he's going to make the second debate.
Yes. Yes. Well, second, people were confused because some referred to the first and second debates as the first and second nights. So people were saying all this kind of like information, but
he's going to make this debate in a couple weeks.
Yes. Yes. That's what
fucking awesome. What's that? What's going on?
You switched the word fam for the other F word.
Oh, sorry. Fam.
You constantly. But it's okay. So there's a tweet here where he says, it really is incredible to think of what the movement behind Senator Gravel accomplished. A campaign managed by teenagers, who are amazing, by the way, for an 89-year-old backed by no money, no political machine, with little media attention, got 65,000 donors before senators, representatives, and governors, which is true. He's already qualified donor base more than some of the people that have qualified by the polls. And that's what's really irritating because I haven't been polled at all, ever. And the only polls that I go to are online polls, right? But the Democratic Party doesn't count those. They only count the polls with landlines. Of course, you're not going to get people who like Bernie Sanders, Mike Gravel, or even a Tulsi Gabbard on the landline. You're going to get those people online. Yeah. And so it's a way to stop him from even getting there. Not him, but progressives in general. Yeah. Like I haven't used a landline in years, and he talks about it here. I
just want to ask a question before we get to this. You're talking about the polls, and really, to tell you the truth, fam, I hate when you put this stuff in the folder sometime because you make my mind go wild. Because I'm looking at all these people too and stuff like that. Why should the polls mean so much? Who's doing these fucking polls? She just said you never received the polls. Shouldn't it just be the donations only? I mean,
yeah. I mean, I think the donations should be better. What do you think?
I agree because a lot of people that don't donate. And and I seen a lot of people because again, where I used to do my former job, we used to send out the polls and it was to the people where they didn't donate, and it's unfair for us who donate. You know, we're like, hey, what about our opinion? Like, what about what we wanted to say about the polls? And that's very disturbing. And there's something that needs to be done about that.
Yeah, because you're looking at these polls that are skewed. They're only they're not even polling people 18 to 35. They're only polling a certain age group. And landlines and it's ridiculous. So why are they going for that for qualifications? So even though he made the 65,000 donors, there is an issue. So he talks about this. For example, the New York Times doesn't even list Mike as a candidate, even though it lists several Sestak, Moulton, Messam. Who the hell? Like Moulton is the only one I know who never qualified for the debates. They never qualified for the debates, but they list them. The New York Times lists them. And CNN never listed us or polled us. We asked for a town hall from CNN and got nothing. Moulton got one, though. And then he says the next period of this campaign will be, if anything, even harder. We'll have to fight the DNC tooth and nail and do whatever it takes to get Mike on the stage. But as Mike said, whatever happens, we've already won. We've done something huge, and it's thanks to you. Thank you.
We have done something huge. We've gotten this guy's voice elevated and stuff because he slipped on those last debates, fam, and he was amazing. We went back and watched this stuff. And one of the best things he ever said, too, was like, it's like when I first got to the Senate, the first 6 months, I was like, how the hell did I get here? After the next 6 months, I was like, how the hell did the rest of them get here? He just got in there as a progressive and saw the warmongering and everything going on, and he made his voice present back then. So I'm excited to get him back on the stage.
And so here's the issue is that he has qualified for the debates, but with the raft of idiot centrists polling at 1%, and with the DNC that would love to keep him out of the public eye, they are actively trying to screw us, but we'll fight back and make Mike's voice heard. So he has gotten attorneys getting ready to fight the DNC because what happens is if there are more than 20 candidates, they have to go by the polling thing. And weirdly enough, people like Bullock, who just entered the race, of all the sudden are 5% in the polls. Or no, they're like 1 or 2% in the polls, but they qualified in 5 polls out of nowhere. Bullock, I mean, he hasn't even been present. Bennett, de Blasio, Delaney, Hickenlooper, really? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And so now this is in order for Gravel to snag Bullock's spot on the stage, he'll need 2 polls at 1% by Tuesday's deadline.
They're going to screw him.
That is their mechanism.
They're going to screw him.
That is their mechanism.
They're going to fuck him.
And we have the other picture, John.
Oh my God, they're gonna screw him so bad. Oh my Lord.
And even Bernie Sanders congratulated Mike Gravel, Johnny. We have the YouTube video, 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 25 seconds.
Maybe. Well, one more thing. Everybody in the chat seems extremely curious about what the Bernie DM was. Dave,
I shouldn't spoil that. I shouldn't say.
How about we'll have to leave them on a cliffhanger, so they have to.
But I say the first word.
Okay.
Okay. The first word that the official Senator Sanders account sent to me was David. I hope that's helpful.
I think we're gonna riot if we don't say it. They said congratulations. They say that they want to work with us in the future. That they're hoping for opportunities to collaborate. That's what they actually said.
When people talk about
awesome. So that's really big, actually, because it's amazing that we're gonna have Bernie, we're gonna have Tulsi, we're gonna have Gravel, and even someone like Marianne Williamson, who has a pretty progressive platform. And wouldn't it be great if we could form a progressive alliance? So here's my thinking. My thinking is it would be great if they secretly wouldn't attack each other, if they secretly would just go on and push their platforms, which are all very similar, and they would focus on the common enemy, which is the establishment candidates that are getting corporate money, that are just telling people what they want to hear right now. And Bernie being the most popular of the 3, and then Tulsi's next as far as polls. Wouldn't it be great if we could just support these candidates, even if you're a Bernie supporter, even if you're you want him to win because he is the one that I think has the highest chance. If you don't support these other candidates, like I know a lot of Berners who donated to Gravel $1, Tulsi Gabbard, they've been donating to her too. You're going to see that it's going to be so much harder for someone like Bernie to even stand there with all the establishment against him. And that's what people don't get. I've been seeing all these, whether they're Bernie supporters or supporting anybody else, they're like, no, but you know, why are you giving money to someone else that's not Bernie? That's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt his chances. These people aren't Bernie's enemy. It's the establishment that is his enemy. So my entire theory is that I think we need an alliance because the Democrats will cheat again. We've seen what's happening in Queens with Tiffany Caban's race. And we need to look at what's happening in Iowa with the virtual caucuses, in Nevada. And here in California, we have an entire new system that we're going to be using.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a problem. And if you don't see that this is politics, that we need to build an alliance, that progressives from the ground up have been needing to do this. Gail McLaughlin tried to do it. Yeah. And you know, I think we need to do it for the presidential race. And instead of fighting amongst each other, we need to work together. It's like an army. We need our generals, our leaders there, and we need to support them, because once Bernie gets in there, if he gets in there, they're going to do the second round of superdelegates, because there's so many candidates that not one candidate is going to get enough. Yeah. And so if Bernie's there by himself, the establishment is going to turn around and give all their delegates to their selected leader, and Bernie's not going to be able to make it. So if you like Bernie, if you want him to win, you need to support other people too.
Well, what about the argument, and I'm going to say this, and we'll give some shout outs to some people. I know everybody's hitting up the thing, but what do you say to the people, and we've witnessed this, because we see a lot of Tulsi people who are kind of like upset with Bernie, but they don't really go out and trash him. They want some answers on a few things. They want to trash him. But then we see these Bernie people who are just actually disgusting and awful towards Tulsi Gabbard, comparing her to Hillary Clinton and stuff. And we've seen the bullshit online and everything. I mean, what do you say to the argument that people say, but wait, Tulsi's in there and she's going to siphon votes away from Bernie, and she needs to just get out of the way right now?
I think it's too early. I think it's too early, and it's not fair to say that. What do you think?
It's too early, and it's the same people that they say that it's either one, we don't know their motives, but it's again back in 2016 how they're attacking about Bernie, they're talking about attacking other candidates. So it's like, we don't learn. We need to stop focusing on the 2016. Let's focus on supporting on the candidates like Bernie Sanders and again Tulsi Gabbard and Mike Gravel. If they're going to be the whole cliques about, you know, about 1 and 1, then you're gonna get the same results from 2016. So let's not repeat that.
I think a lot of people talk about like if they hand these over these delegates, these presidential candidates can give their delegates over when they drop out. We know for a fact that if Tulsi does drop out, who is she going to give her delegates to? You know they're going to Bernie Sanders. If Elizabeth Warren drops out, are her delegates going to Bernie Sanders? I highly doubt it because this woman's being willing to play ball.
Yeah,
Fam, I'm
exactly.
sorry.
And so just to kind of summarize, right? People say, but superdelegates don't get a first round vote. Sure. But there are so many candidates that's likely going to happen. And they also say, but what's the point of supporting other candidates who aren't going to win? And so here's why you need to keep supporting these progressive candidates as long as possible. A candidate can endorse another and tell their delegates to vote for them as well. Yep. The stronger the candidate, the more delegates they have. So we don't want these progressive candidates to not rise. We want them to rise so they have more delegates behind them. And what's to ensure said delegates go to Bernie? So if we have an alliance beforehand, this alliance is going to ensure that. Usually the delegates listen to their previous, the person that they endorse as choice. And this would be something that the people can push and inform the respective campaigns behind the scenes prior, so there's no surprises like, oh, I am going to do this. The Tulsi campaign does it, the Marianne Williamson, Gravel, whoever is strongest. And that's why I think this is a way of combating the establishment manipulations, because we know that they're going to do this. And I've just been like arguing with people like who are like, no, Bernie only. It's like, yes, I support him 100%, but he can't do this alone, you guys. He cannot. Why it happened in 2016. It's going to happen again.
Yeah. Why don't they understand though, fam, that the people that like Tulsi Gabbard's going to get people to come out and vote for her that Bernie wouldn't get out there. It just, I mean, I understand Bernie does have appeal to independents and he can reach across the aisle, but not like Tulsi can. Tulsi gets disgruntled Trump, libertarians, and people that are just, that were some Republicans, independents that he'll never get. So if she gets them to come over and vote for her, she can then eventually hand them off to Bernie. And I don't want to understand why people can't grasp that concept. And why don't people ever, why don't they give Tulsi Gabbard for standing up and walking away? We talked about the integrity of the people in this party. How when, as soon as people aren't looking, they're going to go vote for Rusty Hicks. They're going to go stab you in the back. But this is a woman who gave up her power and said, screw what's going on in 2016. And while Elizabeth Warren was hiding in the shadows, she got up and walked away publicly.
She was going to be chair. I mean, they were propping her up to be the next big political thing. And once she did that, you've noticed they've just been article after article smearing her constantly. That is what happens when you don't do what they say. And she was willing to do that. And I will put my bet on someone like that over someone like Warren, who seems to be doing this for political opportunity now.
Correct.
And I think that's just it's just a problem.
Yeah, it is, and it's the same thing because I noticed something different lately about Elizabeth Warren, and that's something where I was like, I didn't trust her. Even in 2016, I had that little gut feeling. I talked to other people like, you know what? I have a feeling that she's like an opportunist. Well, she will use it, but then when 16 they shut her up. Now she's like, oh, I have to play the little nice. Yeah. I can't go too radical. I can't do this because if I do, then it's all about I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid what ifs, and so that's
exactly.